world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Talking about Tolkien, Ben.
Talking about Tolkien, Nate. This one might actually be a short one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe you.
I don't think I have. Well, I have things, but we've already covered most of it in the previous episodes. Kind of spoilers.
I have 4 points, and one of them is just Ben will probably go off and tell the entire story, so I don't need to take notes. So
okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
So we're talking about chapter 6 of book 4 of The Two Towers, The Forbidden Pool.
Yeah, my note says it's called The Next Chapter, the one after The Window on the West.
Yes, this is The Forbidden Pool. This is the scene from the movie where...
That changes the entire movie?
Yeah, Gollum's singing a stupid song and splashing around, and he's the nice guy Gollum.
He was singing a song?
Yeah.
He's not afraid that there are orcs or men in the woods.
No, he's a puppy. He's a little puppy dog, and he never hurt Master.
Because he was nice guy Gollum.
He was nice guy Gollum.
What was the plan? So if they didn't capture him in the movie, he wouldn't have fed them to the spider or tried to. How are they going to get inside of Mordor?
Well, if they didn't capture him in the book, they kind of had the same problem.
No, I mean, what if that scene didn't happen? Smeagol and Frodo don't get separated. What's the plan? Because his plan, this entire book, has been, okay, I couldn't strangle him. Maybe I feed him to a giant spider. Yeah, you want to get inside Mordor? I know a way. It involves a giant spider.
So you're not saying that's not a movie specific problem. That's specific that's for the book and the movie.
No, that is a movie specific problem.
I don't understand.
If he's nice boy Gollum, he's not going to want to lead them. Oh,
if he's a nice guy, why is he taking them to the spider anyway?
Yes. Because in the book, he's just pretending to be nice.
I see what you're saying.
And no one believes it.
I see what you're saying. Yes. I think that was one of those things that Peter Jackson just didn't think about. Was that, I guess it is probably legitimately the best way they could go into Mordor. Gollum could have
would Gollum
perhaps
just warn them.
Yeah, warned them.
There's a big old spider in here.
Yeah, and she and I may have some sort of understanding. But that's from the old. That's the old me. And when I say spider, demon is more correct, but it's it's in the form of a giant spider. So,
yeah, they're a lot more menacing than the Mirkwood spiders that you could kill with a rock.
Yeah, you may be thinking our only problem is that there's a giant spider, but I just need you to know that this giant spider also thinks. So
yeah, and you can't turn invisible the way Bilbo did. That would be very bad, actually.
I don't know if it would.
Really? Right on the edge of Mordor? Because you made it seem like, Sauron can't.
How much of the book have you read so far? How much of the book have you read so far, Nate?
I mean, I read the books years ago. He does go invisible, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sam's wearing the ring.
I know. Okay, I thought he did, but I could not remember, and I was like, "How the fuck did Sam get around?"
Yeah, Sam wears the ring.
He had a high as hell stealth check or something, but no. Okay.
No, and that's another interesting thing is Sam never puts on the ring in the movie.
Yeah, because if he did, then by movie logic, Sauron would immediately sense where he is, send 9 ring wraiths up his ass, and kill him.
Yeah, the only question is if Shelob is some kind of spiritual being. So, like, if you go with the theory that Ungoliant was a Maiar, or somehow related to the Ainu.
Yeah, how could Ungoliant be a Maiar, though? Because it fucks up Morgoth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it could be like an Ainu, which includes the Valar and the Maiar. So she could be some kind of spiritual creature given form like them.
But why? Why, God, why?
He works in mysterious ways. There are nameless
giant thing
things.
that it's always hungry. And it looks like a big old fucking super spider.
Hunger's part of the world. It's a pretty important part. And it needs to be embodied in a giant spider.
It needs to be embodied, and
I could explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand, and you're already coming into it with the wrong attitude. So, I help those who help themselves. The plan is ineffable, and don't worry about it.
Get some boots, put them on, and then pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
The real question is, I guess it's not out of the question for a Maiar to have children.
I know
not many
I
of
would
them
if I
do.
were a Maiar.
Well, Tolkien
It's nonstop.
He went
God
back
would
and
be
forth
telling me to stop.
I'm just telling you to stop. No, he went back and forth on should the Valar have children like the Greek gods, and
preferably not exactly like the Greek gods, though. There was one in particular that I think we'd all be happier without.
Yeah, there's no Zeus. Manwë is a committed husband, but
he's not like, I think I'll turn into light, and that'll be fun. Just
he went back and forth on that. Ultimately, the Children of the Valar was discarded as an idea, but you still have Melian, the Maiar, who marries Thingol, the elf, who has a daughter, Luthien, and I think he kept that, or he was planning to keep that. So yeah, it's not unheard of. I guess Ungoliant would have just had spider children, one of which is Shelob.
Awesome.
But yeah, no. So they definitely do put on the ring with, I guess, on the borders of Mordor. And if anything, the ring is more powerful on the borders of Mordor. It gives Sam the ability to understand orc language, but that's not this chapter.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
So, why don't you start us off with your notes?
They're speaking a different language instead of like they were in Rohan, where they were speaking like the common man tongue.
Well, I think they spoke Rohirric in Rohan.
Both. Yeah, but they
They
understood.
did both.
Yeah,
but the orcs aren't. Yeah, no, they're speaking their own Orcish amongst themselves.
Huh.
And Sam can just understand it.
Huh. Well.
He's not sure if he's actually understanding the language or if he's just understanding the meaning. Like if the ring is actually translating the words for him or if it's just beaming the meaning directly into his head.
All right. See that guy? He's an asshole. So is the guy he's talking to. Actually, all of them. All of them are assholes.
I don't want to get too much into that because I actually have a lot to say about the orcs in that chapter. So, the Forbidden Pool. We're still with Faramir.
Jump scare Faramir. He's crouching over you while you're sleeping.
He's watching. And he wakes
Scares
Frodo
the
up.
shit out of Frodo. Yeah.
And he takes Frodo to the pool. And there is this strange thing in
And Sam follows.
the pool.
Don't forget Sam. Sam saw.
How could I?
How could
yeah,
you?
because they're Faramir's like, it seems like this might have had something to do with you. So I thought I'd get your opinion. Do we shoot it? And Sam's like, yes, please shoot it. And Frodo's like, no, I beg you not to.
Yeah, unfortunately, Frodo says no first. He does take a moment. He does think about it. It's like
He does think about
yeah, I guess don't.
Far
I don't
from
think
being
Gandalf
his
would want
loyal-
us to.
Far from being his loyal puppy. He does say that Gandalf thought he was spared for a reason, and he knows what a high regard Faramir holds Gandalf in, so that helps.
He was spared for a reason, that reason being he's going to die for all of us. He's Jesus.
Well, I don't think the metaphor quite extends that far. He didn't choose to sacrifice himself. It's like that's the theory of like if Jesus really didn't know Judas was going to betray him, he just stayed out drinking.
Yeah, they hatch a plan. They can't just let Gollum wander out freely. We either gotta kill him or capture him. So if you don't want to kill him, gotta capture him. Frodo's like, he'll come to me if I go to him. Frodo doesn't feel good about tricking him, but he's also like, yeah, like you gotta do what you gotta do. He's not like, oh, I just abused my poor puppy. No,
Frodo's got a
idiot.
much more practical attitude towards Smeagol. Like both Sam and Frodo talk about how they know he's going to betray them at some point.
Yeah, he has to.
They're just not sure when.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna. He's gonna be like, oh, what are we doing inside this volcano, guys? Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, you can leave now. We don't need you anymore. Actually, you want to jump in?
So Faramir's got a problem. Nobody can know about this place, and Gollum does not look like a trustworthy dude. And Faramir's wondering how he could have possibly found this place. And Frodo says that that Gollum was probably drawn here, basically by the power of the ring. That Frodo thinks
the ring
that Gollum,
Faramir is not supposed to know about. Sam.
Yeah, that Gollum has some sort of awareness of where the ring is and can follow it, and because Frodo was here, Gollum is here.
God, you think Sauron would kill for that kind of power?
Well, I think Sauron knew that Gollum had it, and that's why Gollum was allowed to be released.
Yeah, allowed to be. Have you not played the Gollum game where he escapes all on his own, Ben?
I have it installed.
I was joking, Ben.
No, I do. I have it installed. I'm thinking about recording it.
We're gonna stream that.
I don't think I'm gonna stream. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'll be there if you want to record it.
Okay. So Faramir is surprised to learn that Gollum has once held the ring for like 200 years. This is a lot for Faramir.
Time? Yeah.
Yeah, that no, I think it's only been I think Gollum only had it a couple hundred years. And because it was lying at the bottom of the river for most of that time. And so Faramir's learning a lot about Isildur's Bane. When it rains, it pours. So he's like, yeah, I think tricking him's probably better than shooting him in the
Dr.
back.
Google says approximately 500 years.
Okay.
Anyway,
500, 200, whatever. Longer than I'd have it.
it's all the same when you've got a ring that stretches your life just
I was going to say it's all the same when
real
you're in a
thin.
cave with no sun.
Or moon. He hates the moon too. Too much light coming off that moon.
So Gollum's sitting there. Another difference from the movie. He is catching fish. He is singing a little song. But this is a song about how he's going to kill the hobbits and the men and how he hates them. And the fish will make him strong and make eyes bright, fingers tight. Yes, throttle them, precious. Throttle them all. Yes, if we gets the chances.
What a
nice
good boy.
Fish, nice fish.
What a good boy. He would never betray us.
An old interview popped up on my YouTube feed where the actor who played Faramir was commenting on how the character was so different from the book. And he talked to the writers about it and was like, you're making him very different. And they're like, well, we want every character to have like a complete arc. Because the problem with Faramir in the book is that he doesn't really change.
Yeah. There are static characters and round characters, and
I was going to say,
sometimes you need a static character.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. Like he's an adult man who's not going on the adventure. Like how much would he? I don't know.
Yeah. His arc is he's not Boromir. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But whatever. So yeah, they capture Gollum. Gollum is mentioned as having, this is just another, I'm looking at my notes. Gollum is mentioned as having sparse locks that hang like rank weed over his bony brows. Gollum has more hair in the book.
I took a note that conies is a weird thing for Faramir to say. When the hobbits say it, it sounds like an old country thing, and it makes sense. When Faramir says it, it's like, that's weird.
I have never heard, outside of Lord of the Rings, anyone call a rabbit a coney.
Yeah, I know it as the footlong coney, which is not a rabbit.
Yeah, I know the Coney Island dog. Yeah, but not. No, I've never heard it outside of this as a rabbit. I don't know if that's a British thing. I don't know if that's an archaic English thing. I can tell you when we get to the Silmarillion, I don't.
Archaic, according to the dictionary.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Because I was going to say Christopher Tolkien's a little bit more mindful of what the average person might know of Old English. But because Tolkien, when you read his drafts, like if we talk about the history of Middle Earth, where Christopher gives all the drafts of all the poems and stuff, and like all the early writings, you kind of wonder who the hell he was writing for. Because there's
Himself.
Probably like,
and maybe the English department at Oxford.
I was going to say there's like maybe 100 people in all of Great Britain who would understand most of what he's saying. It's interesting, and I think it's like he really doesn't know how far these things have fallen out of like common parlance, but
yeah,
it's not as bad in Lord of the Rings. Well, they were cooked.
He did say cooked. The orcs did say that.
The orcs did say cooked. So Tolkien, he's an intergenerational linguist. But yeah, so I have that. He's got hair. Faramir tells him, you fish in my pond, I kill you. That's the penalty. And again, we have a swearing of an oath. The only way Faramir is going to let Gollum go, and he really doesn't like letting Gollum go. He tells Frodo, like, you and Sam, you're not smart, but you're honest, you know? And you seem like
Yeah,
good
we're
people.
cool. Yeah.
I know you knew my brother. I'm kind of sorry he tried to beat you up and take your ring. So I'm giving you a lot of leeway here, but this guy, Frodo, this guy's a piece of shit. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And Frodo's like, yeah, I know, but he's our guide. He's the only one who can do this. And
Your guide. What?
he says, I need your oath that you're never going to come here again and that you're never going to show anyone how to get here. And he asks, what oath will you swear never to return and never to leave any or never to lead any living creature hither by word or sign? And Gollum gives Frodo a knowing glance and says, Master knows. Yes, he knows. We will promise Master if he saves us. We'll promise to it. Yes. And Faramir's like, Frodo, translate crackhead for me. And he's like, he's not going to show anybody. He swore the oath on a thing he values. Don't worry. Faramir's like, okay. Frodo. Well, Frodo's like, well, we're on the subject of passing judgments and such. You haven't actually said what you're going to do with me. Because Faramir's like, you're going to go wherever Frodo goes, and Frodo's like, where is Frodo going, by the way? And Faramir says, I shall decide in the morning.
And they're like, oh, it is morning.
Yeah, basically.
Whoops.
So he takes Gollum under his protection, but Faramir's still interrogating a little bit.
He wants to know, so how are you going to get in? You know the name of the place you're going? Gollum doesn't want to say.
Frodo does not know. And Faramir stares real hard. And Gollum...
And again, he says, Frodo, you know he's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Faramir's like, the path, would it happen to be called Cirith Ungol? And Gollum hissed sharply and began muttering to himself. Faramir says, is that not its name? No, Gollum said, and then he squealed as if something had stabbed him. Yes, maybe, okay, yeah. That might be the name.
What about it, Dad?
And Gollum's like, well, Master says we have to go, so we must try some way, and it's the only way. There's no other way to try. No other way, said Faramir. And how do you know that? And who has explored all the confines of that dark realm? He looked long and thoughtfully at Gollum. Frodo, you know this guy's a piece of shit, right? Like, you know, none of this sounds good, right? But yeah, he then gives a little bit of he tells Frodo a little bit about the path he's about to walk, because Faramir has not tread the path of Cirith Ungol, but he knows about where they're going. They're going to walk past the old Minas Ithil ruins, which are now called Minas Morgul, which I think Morgul is like black magic, sorcery. And Faramir talks about how, you know, these were people who were men of Numenor built this, but the enemy came among them, and it is said that their lords were men of Numenor who had fallen into dark wickedness. To them the enemy had given rings of power, and he had devoured them. Living ghosts they were become, terrible and evil. And after his going, they took Minas Ithil and dwelt there, and filled it and all the valley about it with decay. So basically, what Faramir is telling Frodo is Gollum is walking you right past the city of the Ringwraiths. This is where they all live. And the Witch King's in charge there. You're not just walking past some orcs, Frodo.
Yeah, but I stabbed that guy once before, so I'll stab him again.
Frodo's like, and Faramir's like, what? It is crazy how much Frodo has done. Faramir's just like, we really are denied that moment where like Faramir has to reckon with like the full breadth of Frodo's experiences. Yeah, I stabbed the Witch King. He stabbed me. I gave as good as I got. I rode a horse, full-sized horse. I said, hey, if you want this ring, come and get it. I drew my sword and I was going to kick his ass again, Faramir.
Unfortunately, or really, fortunately for him, Elrond got to him first.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what, I couldn't feel my arm. I assume that was because of all the power that was coursing through it. But I think I had him on the ropes. My horse was faster than his horse. And my feet kind of reached those little foot pedal things they have on a saddle.
Those foot pedal things.
Stirrups. That's what they're called. I knew that. Yeah. So Faramir's like, if I were you, I super wouldn't go that way. And Frodo said,
must be nice.
Frodo says, okay, where should I go?
Is that or the Black Gate?
No, I'll read the quote. He says, you cannot yourself, you say, guide me to the mountains nor over them. But over the mountains I am bound by solemn undertaking to the council to find a way, and they said this to me, Faramir, quote, or perish in the seeking. And if I turn back, refusing the road in its bitter end, where then shall I go among elves or men? Would you have me come to Gondor with this thing, the thing that drove your brother mad with desire? What spell would it work in Minas Tirith? Shall there be two cities of Minas Morgul grinning at each other across a dead land filled with rottenness? And again, I just got to point out like how in the movie, Faramir says, yes, exactly that. Exactly that. That is exactly what we're going to do.
We're going to Minas Tirith. Let's go.
It's not just that the character didn't have an arc. It's that they just made him like opposite man.
He's just Boromir again. But then at the last second, he becomes Faramir.
And Faramir reluctantly admits that he would not have Frodo give up on his oath. And it's just he doesn't want him to go to his death or torment, and he does not think Gandalf would have chosen this particular path.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he would have told me the path. What was Gandalf's plan? Does Frodo ever ask him, like, hey, if you would have gotten across the river, what the fuck was your plan? I had to run into Gollum and have him guide me through a dead swamp and then into a spider lair. Like, what was your plan?
So, Frodo, my plan is the ineffable plan of the Lord, and he will provideth.
My plan was exactly what happened. I was going to fall off that bridge, stab a Balrog a whole bunch, and then die.
Look, Frodo, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be real with you. I was like 99% we were all going to die. So
the fact that only two of us did, pretty solid, actually.
Yeah,
worked out much better than expected.
I'm going to say, I'm asking for a bonus when I get back to the West. Yeah. Um, so Faramir, one final time, is like, okay, it is a hard doom and a hopeless errand. And you got to keep in mind, Tolkien uses the word doom in like its classical meaning of fate. It's not necessarily.
Oh, it's not the video game with the aliens and
Well,
the
it's not
zombies.
necessarily meant like doom has the modern word has a negative connotation. Like doom is always unpleasant. But in this case, like whereas fate is more neutral, you could have a good fate. I don't know anyone who has, but theoretically you could. And so yeah, watch out for Smeagol. And then
You know he's a piece of shit.
He says again in the opposite of Sam's hopeful speech. Now, Sam does give a kind of hopeful speech later in the book, and it is what they stole the hopeful speech for the End of the Two Towers movie from.
He tried to take the ring from Frodo. Oh, not that one.
Not that one. No, it's the one where it's like the stories that really matter. And like
Sam,
people in those stories had a lot of chance.
Sam,
to
you know we're
back.
gonna die, right? I don't.
Well, Sam eventually, like, he does give that speech later on in a different context, and I'll talk about my problems with that. But I wanted to mention that.
And Frodo doesn't say, "Damn it, Sam, you ate all of our bread. Get the fuck out of here. Me and my best friend Smeagol are going into this cave alone."
No, Frodo's not completely like gaslit by Smeagol and in a drug-induced stupor wandering through a spider web. No. So I just wanted to say, like, you know how at the end, like, everybody's always talking to Frodo like he's a dumb idiot baby, in the movie. So I just wanted you to know that, because this is what Faramir says to him. Well, so we meet and part, Frodo, son of Drogo. You have no need of soft words. I do not hope to see you again on any other day under this sun, but you shall go now with my blessing upon you and upon all your people. Rest a little while food is prepared for you. I would gladly learn how this Smeagol became possessed of the thing we speak, and how he lost it, but I will not trouble you now. If ever beyond hope you return to the lands of the living and we retell our tales, sitting by a wall in the sun, laughing at old grief, you shall tell me then. Until that time or some other time beyond the vision of the seeing stones of Numenor. Wouldn't it be weird if like one of your friends just happened to grab one of those? Farewell, Frodo. So that's far from, at this point in the movie, you get Sam's speech about the stories that really matter, how those people had lots of chances to turn him back, but they didn't because there's some good in this world and it's worth fighting for. He doesn't say that. Faramir is like, well, Frodo, you're 100% going to die. But don't worry, I won't be far behind you. Let's get this bullshit over with. He said it more poetic than that. I'm translating for you. But yeah. And then that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, I do like the tone of what they're going for, which is like, God, Sauron's such an asshole. His big fucking army, his stupid, despoiled, evil cities, his undead wraiths. Like, God, is there anything that he does that isn't just to be a big asshole to everyone? I hate that guy.
He
Stupid
is going
elephants.
The thing as I have grown old, the thing I like less and less about the movie is that in its effort to give everyone an arc, it is kind of undermining the point. And the point like the moral is that there is a right thing to do and a wrong thing to do. And they are the good thing, the right thing is not always the thing that works. Like, good is not relative to the outcome. If Frodo must go on this quest and he must die, that's what he's going to do. And if the quest was doomed from the beginning, he's still going to undertake it because it was the right thing to do. And it doesn't matter if it saves humanity or not. The wrong thing to do would have been to use the enemy's ring to try to beat him, because you would just replace one Dark Lord with another. If the world's going to end because a Dark Lord's going to kill it, then that's how it's going to end. And sometimes you just got to pick a side and be willing to die for what you believe in. That's the
I'm going west. Get my boat.
Well, I think that's what makes it a powerful story. And I'm not saying, like, you can agree with that or you can disagree with that. Because since I've started talking about Tolkien, it is actually kind of crazy to me how many people listen to it and how many people actually take it somewhat seriously. That, like, I have multiple people I know in real life who have listened to this podcast, and they do not listen to every episode of Words About Books. I can promise you that. But they do listen to every episode of this, and they have started reading it for themselves. And I'm very happy with that, because my whole goal has sort of become to, like, remind people that the movies are very, like, they adapt quite a bit. They take a lot of liberties with the adaptation. Even though they're very well received movies, they don't deserve to be. You can't just watch the movies and not read the book and say you got the whole story.
Or you can do that and then post a bunch of comments online. Checkmate.
Well, but
why don't the Eagles just fly them directly into Mordor and they drop the ring from orbit?
Well, so people who have started reading it have, that I know, they've been texting me questions, and I love it because I love an excuse to talk about this. And
yeah,
we talk about, like, some of the morality of it. And I have had some people who are like, I don't agree. I feel like he's trying to make, like, with the way Iluvatar is characterized and the way Morgoth's characterized, and the nature of humanity being corrupted simply by living in a world with Morgoth's well, I was going to say Morgoth's essence in all matter, that we are, it's like reminiscent of Original Sin, and that Tolkien's trying to work in a little bit of a Catholic apologetics into his story. And, like, you know, he is, you're not wrong. He considered it a Catholic book, and he wasn't subtle, I think, about that. But I don't know, like, as I've gotten older, I relate more to the notion that, like, sometimes you just gotta say, yeah, I'm not going to go along with that one. And I think the challenge is, I know a lot of conservative people too who read Lord of the Rings who are like, yeah, I'm not going to go along with that one, using someone's preferred pronouns. And
yeah,
that's not the
like,
lesson.
You go along with the Bible and you're like, what? Trying to help the poor? Not going along. Yeah. Sorry, Jesus. You don't understand things the way I do.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, I look at it more like there's, I don't know. I've thought about it more like with my work, because I work in computer science, and, you know, AI is all the rage right now, and there's a million ethical problems with that. And I've thought about, like, you know, how many tools of the enemy am I going to use? before
AI for one. So
it's something I think about like literally every day. And I think the problem is like when you think you know the answer, when you think you know who the enemy is, because that's the other convenient thing for Tolkien is, unfortunately, AI is made by other human beings, not a dark demon lord who is
we don't know
objectively
that
evil.
yet. We don't know that yet.
We don't know that Sam Altman is for sure a man. He may be some sort of lizard.
I mean, didn't Sauron initially look like a very beautiful like elf or something?
He did. Anatar, the Lord of Gifts.
There you go. Altman, the Lord of Gifts.
No, I think that's the unfortunate thing is I wouldn't call him an enemy, but like the people I disagree with are people, not demons who are objectively bad. So that's a challenge.
Well, I mean, you're going to go on a big long spiel about how orcs aren't objectively bad, but
I don't think
still
the
going to
orcs are.
Slaughter them in large numbers.
I probably would be annoying about that if I were in Gondor. I probably would not be Aragorn's favorite guy.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, I mean, did you see the way they just like, they're walking along, they saw a shrub on the ground, and they paused specifically to crush it with their foot just because they could? Like, they went out of their way to do that.
But yeah, that's that chapter. It was indeed a short one. Did I touch on all your points, or did you have anything else?
I had 4 points, so you got them.
Nice.
One of which was just that you were going to tell the story, and the other one was about conies, so...
What were the other 2? I gotta know.
Gollum gets got, and Faramir warns Frodo, so...
Well, good to see you're in depth on this one. But all right, that's this episode of Talking About Tolkien.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road is gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.